So now we'll continue on with our first lecture, the overview of the second habits. We're going to continue to talk about paradigms. So this is a reading. So this is a reading from the overview section of the book. I remember a mini paradigm shift I experienced one Sunday morning on a subway in New York. People were sitting quietly, some reading newspapers, some lost in thought, some resting with their eyes closed. It was a calm, peaceful scene. Then suddenly a man and his children entered the subway car. The children were so loud and rambunctious that instantly the whole climate changed. The man sat down next to me and closed his eyes, apparently oblivious to the situation. His children were yelling back and forth, throwing things, and even grabbing people's papers. It was very disturbing, and yet the man sitting next to me did nothing. It was difficult not to feel irritated. I could not believe that he could be so insensitive as to let his children run wild like that and do nothing about it, taking no responsibility at all. It was easy to see that everyone else on the subway felt irritated too. So finally, with what I felt was unusual patience and restraint, I turned to him and said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. I wonder if you couldn't control them a little more." The man lifted his gaze as if to come to consciousness and look at the situation for the first time. He said softly, "Oh, you're right. I guess I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago. I don't know what to think, and I guess they don't know how to handle it either." Can you imagine what I felt in that moment? My paradigm shifted dramatically. Suddenly I saw things differently, and because I saw differently, I thought differently. I felt differently. I behaved differently. My irritation vanished. I didn't have to worry about controlling my attitude or my behavior. My heart was filled with the man's pain. Feelings of sympathy and compassion flowed freely. "Your wife just died. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you tell me about it? What can I do to help?" Everything changed in that moment. Paradigm breakthroughs are usually or often called break-withs. Paradigm shifts must be described as breakthroughs because they often come as a new insight, much like a solution to a challenging problem. Paradigm shifts are also break-withs. They are breaks with the old ways of thinking, reorganizations of thought that led us to a different mindfulness, and even opposite conclusions. Breaking with old ideas isn't always easy. We often must move from ideas that we've grown more comfortable with to ideas that are unfamiliar and uncertain. We may resist paradigm shifts, feeling more secure with the old ideas, perhaps even to the point that we become unwilling to change. Paradigm shifts are often caused by crises. If we cling to a weak paradigm, we run the risk of acting weakly and creating problems for ourselves. If we persist, the problems may multiply into a crisis. Although crises are pleasant, they can be informative. They can be a wake-up call and a notice to ourselves that we are asleep to some aspect of our circumstance. Big crises often come from ignoring smaller ones. We experience paradigm shifts most easily when we are open-minded and we're willing to risk two qualities of character to create a particularly favorite climate for paradigm shifts. And they are open-mindedness and willing to risk. Being open-minded means that we hold to our paradigms loosely. We consider new ideas freely. Being willing to risk means that we accept cheerfully the possibility that we may ourselves, with that, we may make mistakes or we might look foolish ourselves. These two conditions allow us to grow regularly in small increments of understanding. When we close our mind, we avoid risk, we stunt our growth. We affect other people through the paradigms we hold of them. The social mirror is a two-way mirror. As other people are our social mirror, so we are theirs. By being aware of this, we can use the principle of social mirror to encourage people to expand their limits rather than to live within those limits. If we live from memory only, if we remember and reflect people's mistakes and weaknesses, we may influence them to repeat them. On the other hand, if we see their potential and we reflect what we see, we may help them move toward it. Our paradigms may cause problems that we blame on people. Whenever we have problems whenever we have problems with another person, it's wise to consider the possibility that our paradigm of them could be contributing to the problem, because paradigms create their own evidence and filter our understanding. We may be seeing problems that aren't there, or we may see them as bigger than they are. The virtue of focusing our own paradigms is that we control ourselves. Changing our paradigms is bound to have a positive effect. In addition, changing to a more positive paradigm will probably allow the other person to be more willing to hear our point of view. Relationships work best if we have faith in people when we seek to resolve a relationship problem. We have to put our faith into something. In other words, we must believe that there's a way to solve the problem, or we wouldn't make the effort. The approach we take toward the problem depends in large measure on what we have faith in. On one hand, we can have faith in our ability to manipulate other people. We can believe that we are in control and that we can get people to do what we want. If that's our faith, then we'll look for ways to control and manipulate. On the other hand, we can have faith in other people. We can believe that they have goodwill towards us, that they want to solve the problem in a mutually satisfying win-win way, and that they are capable of self-management. They don't need us to tell them what to do, that they may see things we don't see, that seeing what they see might help us make a wiser choice or allow them to more clearly understand our point of view by exercising faith and trust in other people. We shift our focus from controlling the negative things in the relationship to freeing or relating or releasing positive things. That shift in focus creates a huge shift in tone. The positive tone that we create when we have faith in the other person helps smooth the relationship. It releases positive qualities and it helps move productivity through the problems that challenge it. So next, I'd like you to take some time and go through the paradigm exercise. It's included in the worksheet, and in this lesson, you're going to look at some different ways that you can treat people and walk through these experiences in this exercise. In this exercise, you are the general manager of a division of a large U.S. corporation. You have an opening for a new operations manager. The regional vice president approves your request for the new position. However, there is one condition. You must accept a transfer employee from another division. The employee was the manufacturing manager in another small division in your company. The regional VP confides in you that there's some performance and attitude issues at that other division. The VP is not ready, however, to give up on this manager. He has brought you in because he has an excellent, he was brought in because he has an excellent skill set and highly applicable experience. The VP wants to give the manager another chance. Well, you're resentful that you're dumping this manager, that they are dumping this manager on you. You've worked hard to build a vibrant, performance-oriented management team. Your team is reaching and exceeding all of the objectives you wanted to get. And you wanted to get to pick your own person. There are clearly issues with this manager, and why should you believe that these issues will cease just because of geography? However, your current team is showing strain under their workload, and you know you have to get them help. You have no alternative but to accept this manager. In your first meeting with the new manager, you find him personable, energetic, and with a seemingly excellent grasp of your industry, the company. He is able to quickly talk about probable issues, and he is given what seems like good solutions. You're surprised because you know his history. So take that experience, this little scenario, and go through and answer the questions in the worksheet. Think about what your choices might be with this manager and how shifting your paradigm might give you and this person an opportunity to build something really great. When you complete that exercise, come back and watch part 3. Thank you.